What is something you or someone you know has done just to watch the world burn? I worked as a wilderness guide this summer. Among my duties was packing food for the kids, ages 14 to 18, I would bring into the wilderness for 5 to 10 days. Every meal, chewy granola bars were involved. I would always pack 11 for 12 kids of the same flavor, usually s'mores, and then one wild card. The kids would get so sick of the s'mores by day 2 or 3, and it was the funniest thing in the world to watch them fight over the special flavor. Real Lord of the Flies shit. Oh, that's the best. The food isn't great at a sleepaway camp, so on my days off I would go out and buy 10 cheeseburgers off the dollar menu at McDonald's. People asked why I spent money on food I wasn't gonna eat. But I got to hold my own literal Hunger Games for $10. Singapore is a weird place. It is an especially weird place for an American teen. An even weirder time when our classmate was arrested at our school and was canned. Well, Singaporeans tend to be reserved, not outgoing. We Americans were generally more outgoing. And sometimes, we used it to make Singaporeans uncomfortable. For example, the bus stop was about half mile from my house. On the way, we had to walk by a big house with a few guards. My friend was with me, and told me the Prime Minister lived there, again, a really small country. So, we walk up to the guards and started to shake their hand, and just started talking to them. They were so flustered and confused. Because no one has ever done that. We weren't threatening anyone, it was just us two, we were really friendly, it was the middle of the day, we were just 16, and we posed no threat. It's a normal neighborhood after all, and we had backpacks on and school uniforms. After about 3 minutes, they were extremely nervous, because they weren't trained for this. Seeing a trained guard, meant to handle threats, not having any idea what to do with people being friendly to him, was unbelievably hilarious to us. We had our fun and left. I go on to random YouTube videos and write the word fake when it clearly isn't, and just watch the shitstorm that develops. Most of the guys on the team I work with are quite overweight and have different opinions on weight loss. They also love being right. It's pretty simple to say, does, insert food here, make you, insert random weight loss / gain symptom here. And then wait for the argument to explode, put my headphones back on whilst they argue. I was a troublemaker in high school. I would steal all the doorstops. Like, all of them, every day. It got to the point where the principal told teachers they need to stand out by the door in between classes and guard the doorstops. They even started numbering them. I still managed to steal them though. I must have stolen 50+ doorstops in an operation that I called Operation Chaos. This operation also included me dumping 5,000 BBs in the hallways, dumping a gallon of mixed cheap cologne in a big hallway that forced them to actually shut it down. I would put Vaseline on doorknobs, throw glitter up in the air during class changes, and I bred 50+ mice and planned to let them loose with the help of friends. My favorite though was carrying around a screwdriver and loosening screws. I wouldn't unscrew them all the way because I would get noticed. I would unscrew them a little bit every day, on anything I could, so then about a week or so later, it seemed as though all these chairs and desks were randomly falling apart. Before homecoming I printed out a whole bunch of flyers that I stuck on billboards all around the school. These flyers were banning the students from doing the dance, the Wellington. There was no dance called the Wellington, but it sure got the school talking about this forbidden mystery dance. I was later expelled. I'm a security guard with keys to everything. However, this doesn't need keys. Sometimes I'll lock and unlock the glass doors electronically. If it's an old woman, they go through. If it's some punk kid or any number of my criteria to be annoyed, they have to try more than once. Sometimes I'll lock 2 doors next to each other, they try one, try the other, I unlock the first one they tried, and they try it again and it opens. Most people really don't know what to think. Also, I'll lock a door, and a person can't open it, they see someone go through the door 10 feet away. I lock that one and unlock the first door they tried. Also, if I'm really bored I'll turn the push-pull signs around. I'm a donk, and I'm sorry. I don't mess with the old, prigo, sick, or disabled. If you are carrying a skateboard into the building, prepare to have trouble with the. I hold the doors open for people who are more than 7 feet away just to watch them do that stupid half jog. I really enjoy it when they thank me through gritted teeth and labor of breath. I'm a high school science teacher. At least once a year we'll start a rumor about one of us getting arrested for something. A co-worker of mine told some students that I dressed up as Selena Gomez for Halloween once. It's been over a year and I still get kids that like to yell, "Hi Selena." I also fart while walking by students who I don't like for whatever reason. In middle school, we would have a bathroom break right after lunch every day. When we went to do our business, a kid in my class started laughing maniacally while pissing in one of the urinals, and proceeded to aim his piss into the corner of the bathroom. He kept laughing as his piss covered the floor, and for some ducking reason 3 other kids started to do the same thing. By the time they were finished, there was a yellow piss pool covering about a third of the floor space. That would have been bad enough, but then the 4 of them started to jump around and splash people. Duck kids. 2 days ago, I was in a very long line at a pharmacy, immediately in back of a very obviously strung out couple who were in the process of counting all of their change right there on the counter, in the hopes that they would have enough for a pack of cigarettes. The line was ridiculous, extending all the way to the back of the store, and everyone was furious. This lady only had nickels and dimes for some reason, and was counting each one really slowly. She lost count, and asked the clerk how much she had, and he said, $6.50. The cigarettes were $11.75. We all thought it was over, but then the guy she was with reached into his pockets, and, over the course of what must have been a full 5 to 10 minutes, slowly counted out all of his nickels and dimes. When he was done, he asked for the cigarettes, and the clerk said, "You're $1.35 short." The guy said, No, it's all there," and the clerk said, "Nope. You're short $1.35. The dude angrily began to gather his change back, and the line behind us, A, got so mad because what the duck, all that for nothing, and B, began to clap with this super intense high schadenfreude, like in sync and en masse. I looked over the faces of the crowd and then said, "Hey man, do you need $1.35? And the schadenfreude, Reddit, the whole line was so furious about my sponsorship of this obnoxious couple, and just like helplessly watching me cannonball right into their puddle of collective vindication. Oh my god. So I gave the lady the $1.35, and the clapping stopped, and there was just silence, like dead silence, while I went up to the counter and asked if it would be alright if I paid in change, and now everyone knows that when they pray, it is me they are praying to. I built a dummy when I was 10 or so. My friends and I would stand in the front yard with it, wait until a car came by, and then beat the shit out of it. We'd tear his head off or lynch him or throw him in the street. He was about our size too, so people usually thought we were beating up another kid. They'd slam on the brakes and get out of the car to chew us out. One time we attached his hands to the second-story windowsill, so it looked like he was hanging on for dear life, and some lady called 911. That was the end of that. In the early 90s, universal remote controls were new. I had a grudge against a local AV store, so I got one of the programmable remotes. In the middle of the night I turned on everything in the store, through the window, and upped all the volumes to maximum. Once a week for months. I had a buddy who did this in high school. Whenever the teacher would attempt to show a movie in class, he would use the universal remote to turn the TV off, just as the teacher sat down. She was convinced the TV was haunted. I work in a pizza shop. Every time someone orders 10 wings I always put in 11, just hoping that whoever ordered those wings planned on splitting them evenly, and I have just started a war within the household over who gets that last wing. Oh look, we have our next Hitler. I worked as a camp counselor for a long time, and when I was supervising a big area alone, I'd bring all my water guns. I hate participating in water fights, but I love watching them. My favorite thing to do is give a water gun to one kid and encourage them to be as obnoxious as possible, watching while everybody else in the area grows to slowly hate them. Then I'll start passing them out to other obnoxious kids and build my own little squad of terror. But the real fun comes when I engineer their demise by slowly arming a resistance against them. Brother begins turning on brother, and I watch like Caligula atop my tall rock, dry and sipping bug juice. The goal is to have a full-on war break out by the time someone else is supposed to take over for me.